Now, despite popular belief, I'm actually really happy because Discord released a massive list of patch notes that contain performance upgrades, new features, and fixes for the most absurd and confusing bugs on the planet. Now, I'll have this article linked in the description if you want to read it, but I'm not going to read off every single patch note monotonously. That's more for an ASMR video I'll do when my channel dies and I'm scrounging for any ounce of content. So instead, I'm going to pick the important stuff that I've heard people complain about numerous times in my DMs as if I worked for Discord. So let's start off with the best thing Discord did, and then we'll slowly descend into disappointment. Per user feedback, we've created a permission for creating polls. I told y'all Discord was listening because I complained about Discord not having any permissions for polls like a little baby, as if these polls were the end of the world, which for me, Discord is my world, so I guess it does make sense. But if you go to your Discord server that you regret making every single day of your life, and you go to your server settings, go to roles, and you just look at everyone's permissions, and after 10 minutes of searching for this permission, giving up and just searching for polls, you can see that you can now disable people from creating polls, which is probably a good idea for you because most people use this poll feature just to spam, especially in my Discord server, which is literally daycare for teenagers. But honestly, I was confused why Discord didn't add this in the first place. You know, common sense apparently is not common sense. But it turns out I was just an idiot because Discord Previews made a tweet talking about this permission being added, and it turns out, for anyone wondering why this permission wasn't available when the feature was released, it's because of the way Discord handles permissions. They are approaching the limit of how many permissions they can have with the current system. What in the absolute what? Approaching the limit of how many permissions you can have? Huh? It's just another option. It turns out the way that it works is that Discord has some, oh god, here we go. Discord has a 32-bit integer limit for their permissions because that's the limit that Jason supports. And these permissions are just a bit mask. All right, that's enough of that. The tweet will be linked in the description if you have the brain cells to actually read that thing, unlike me. So that's what I've been crying and complaining about, and what have the rest of you been crying and complaining about? Oh yeah, it's how the mobile app sucks balls, and I'm going to talk about performance improvements in these patch notes. The first one, improved server switching speed on Android and iOS apps by 30+% depending on the device and network performance. Resolved a category of Android crashes that reduced the overall app crash rate by 37% on Android devices. We have speed, we have stability, and finally, we have improved aggregate app startup time on lower-end Android devices by 10%, which means Discord is going to launch faster on your Samsung Smart Fridge or your Rabbit R1. But me, I'm not glued to my phone, I'm not a TikTok user, I'm glued to my computer. And it turns out in these patch notes, there are desktop improvements. It turns out Discord is currently in the process of rolling out our 64-bit Discord client to desktop users. This 64-bit client should improve memory-related stability and solve a couple of known issues in the 32-bit client. For however long Discord has existed, it's been in 32 bits. But it only took Discord this long to go from an old, ancient 32-bit client to a 64-bit client, which to be honest will probably just eat up more of your RAM, but hey, 64 bits, it's not going to crash anymore. Now, to save you the pain of going through a Twitter video that's 5 minutes long to boost engagement of a PNG tuber telling you how to tell if your Discord client is 32-bit, that was a mouthful, I'm going to show you. Open up your Discord app, scroll down to the very bottom, and you should see it says host, some number, and it's either going to say x64, which means you don't have to do anything, or if it says x86, that means you're on the 32-bit version. And how do you upgrade your Discord version? Well, you could wait until Discord does it automatically for you. You could get the upgrade right now, and you're only going to see very minor performance improvements. And you can upgrade by downloading Discord again. So you need to go to discord.com, which I'll have linked in the description. Actually, you know what? No, it's not linked in the description. Type this in yourself. Stop being lazy. I'm just too lazy to put it in the description. But once you go to Discord and you hover over download for Windows, you should see at the very bottom, it says Arch equals x64. And when you download Discord and you run the setup, you should go to the 64-bit version. Now, if you can't upgrade to the 64-bit version of Discord because you can't follow basic instructions or you have a computer that's old enough to drive, well, don't you worry, because Discord improved desktop performance for everyone. Via various incremental changes, we've improved video startup time on desktop and web by as much as 15%, depending on device and network performance. Also known as, it could be 0%, but if things are favorable for us, it will be 15%. Discord has also optimized the backend attachment creation process, stabilizing and reducing time to begin message attachment uploads by roughly 15 to 20% on average. Can I get a translation of this nerdy ass Message. Well, yes, you can. Uploading things on Discord will take roughly 15 to 20% less, which means you can upload your leaked military documents faster. Now, out of everyone that's watching, who is going to be the third person to man up and leak military documents again? Come on, I like making those videos. I want a third one. Third time's the charm. I'm gonna have like feds at my doorstep pretty soon. And speaking of the feds being at my doorstep, just like when my father came back, these new features that are in these patch notes are a bit of a disappointment. Again, a really roundabout segue. I'm on my A game today. But let's take a look at the new mobile features. Have you ever wanted to mute yourself without having to pull your phone out of your pocket? Discord on iOS now supports muting using your AirPods. This helps when you're straining to take a dump. You're making sounds out of a horror movie. And when you mute with your AirPods, your friend's gonna see that you're muted and they won't ask you to explain how you evade your taxes. So this feature is super useful, except it doesn't work for me at all. And if you don't use an iPhone, don't worry. You don't get any new features. You don't get shit. But if you're on desktop, prepare yourself because there's a revolutionary new feature that came out. If you go to the Discord shop tab and you hover over an avatar decoration, it now shows your profile in the decoration. This is also an experiment and it's rolling out. It's not out for everyone, but this feature is revolutionary. When you hover over these cat ears, you can decide, do you want to spend $5 on stupid cat ears in a chat app to annoy people? The answer is always yes. Now, next up are bug fixes, and this is straight up my most favorite part because a lot of the bugs in here make you think, how in the absolute Fortnite did this happen? My will to live is 0 after saying that. But Discord has resolved an issue where message notifications on iOS didn't have a maximum height, which occasionally created very large notifications. And how large are we talking? Well, here's this Redditor here who had a little bit of a Discord notification that looked a little something like this. You want to chat? No. You have to spend the next 5 seconds staring at these anime big bazonkas. If my friend saw this on my phone, I'm cooked. I'm gonna be dying alone. And Discord also resolved an uncommon iOS Unicode rendering issue. Wow, this sounds nerdy, but don't you worry, I'll make it simple. That resulted in iOS users occasionally being unable to see any messages in a channel. And thank goodness someone has some screenshots of this. This Reddit user, Light Animo, oh God, I already said the name wrong. Just pretend I said it right. They had a message like this on their Android app. It's just a normal announcements channel talking about giveaways. But if you spent a whopping $1,000 on your cellular mobile device, Apple device, iPhone, or in this case, iPad, if you open up the channel, it looks something like this. Now, the details on how this work are a little bit murky for me, but basically with one of these channel names, it like breaks, and what happens is that if you send that channel to an iOS user, it just completely like wipes out the whole entire message. And you could do this for DMs, for group DMs, you could do it for anything. And I was actually going to put this in a video called Discord Bugs to Use to Torture Your Friends and Become Lonely After 30, but it turns out, again, Discord patched it, so there goes the good video idea. Balls. Now, a whole bunch of people complained about this bug, but if you favorited a whole bunch of GIFs on Discord because you're a hardcore Discord degenerate, at some point you'd get to so many GIFs that you could not unfavor Discord GIFs, which means that GIFs were completely useless. And ladies and gentlemen, after however many months, I think it was like 6 months, Discord has fixed a bug that prevented users from removing favorited GIFs if they somehow ended up over the favorited GIF cap. But the interesting thing about these patch notes, and the main reason why I wanted to make a video, is the way Discord found these bugs. Because it turns out these Discord employees are also a Redditor like me, my lady. And they made a mega thread on the r/Discord app subreddit. Let me grab my chalice of Mountain Dew while we dive into the subreddit. Every 2 months, Discord will have a bug mega thread where they basically just ask people to explain bugs that they find on the platform. And the bugs that I talk about were in this video. For example, the iOS text bomb that would prevent you from seeing a channel. That bug was found in this Reddit thread. And I really like having these bug mega threads because it's not just a one-off thing that Discord did. They have a new mega thread for April and May. This community-ran Reddit thread allows Discord to get feedback from its users, and sometimes Discord as a company makes like the most pointless decisions on the planet. We have ads in Discord. We have a new quest badge to promote quests. And it makes me just think of Discord as all bad, but in reality, there's a lot of individual employees and contractors at Discord that are not corporate snakes. It turns out the people that work at Discord are in fact real people, and they actually have a passion for Discord. And this massive blog post about Discord's patch notes allows us to get an insight into the amount of work they do and allows us to appreciate their efforts. Of course, this is all assuming that Discord doesn't fire all their employees and replace them with AI. Now, you already know, Discord is still a buggy mess. And I have a bug where if I go on Discord, it will just randomly go gray while I'm doing something else on my computer. And I would 100% make a bug report about this, and this is not a lie, and I'm totally not lazy. But it turns out in this bug mega thread, someone already made the same bug report as was me. Now, if you don't want to go on Reddit for good reasons, you don't want to expand your waistline, you can go to Discord's white page of doom and gloom because they have a bug reporting feature. And it turns out I go on the white page of doom and gloom so much, I actually have a hotkey for it. Like, this is my Stream Deck. I go back to my main page, I go to Discord, then I go to white page reports, and look, a bug report button. And if I go to my URL bar and I press that button, it takes me directly to the website because I send this to people so much because people think I work at Discord and I can fix all their problems. I can't. But anyways, on this white page of doom and gloom, you can make a bug report, which is great if you have anything that might have your personal info or you just don't want to go on Reddit. But the Reddit thread is nicer if you want to look for like issues that people have and maybe try to help Discord. Anyways, I'm going to go help Discord by doing absolutely nothing. That's it. Okay, I've lost my train of thought. I was going to have some big, long, outwinded outro, but I just ruined it. All right, I'm going. Bye-bye. I love you. Mwah!